Hi, I'm Dr. J, and welcome to 5-Minute Fridays. I have a background of a master's in human performance / applied sports science and a doctorate in sport and performance psychology. This week, we're going to look at how does long-term training affect the athlete's brain. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more 5-Minute Fridays with your Dr. J. And this review study that we're going to pull this information from looked at 28 different studies that occurred between 2001 to 2020 that all looked at the difference between expert and novice abilities to do certain activities. And these activities included sport-specific videos, multiple object tracking or MOT specific to 18 different sports, blood oxygenation level dependent BOLD or BOLD, functional magnetic resonance imaging fMRI, functional near infrared spectroscopy, and then last but not least, electroencephalogram or an EEG. And they use these different variables to measure the differences between the experts and the novices. So then throughout the conclusions of these various studies, some of the things that they found to be a little bit more pertinent for the experts versus the novices included the experts tended to perform at faster speeds. They were more accurate with their motor behavior. They had greater efficiency than most of the novices, and then lower levels of activity in the sensory and motor cortex with less energy expenditure, and then the possibility of them being more productive due to these other factors. And one note that they had made within the study is that there's the potential that these experts or professionals, the long-term training athletes, had more attentional capacity or more attentional resources than the novices with the higher cognitive processing and the more integrated neural network. There were changes that happened in the neuroanatomical structures of the brain. This included neuroplasticity, functional connectivity, and also neural proficiency. But this wasn't the case with all of the tasks either. So depending on if the individual was familiar with the task or the individual was trying to gauge the difficulty of that given task, there might have been a greater energy expenditure that happened at the onset of the activity so that the individual could figure out the difficulty or the complexity of that skill that was required. So let's break that down into layman's terms. What does that really mean? So they looked at these 18 different sports. They tried to figure out what was the difference between these experts versus the novices. And there has been some research that has backed that experts in these areas do have a genetic predisposition to having these higher attentional capacities or this ability to focus better. But then also we need to look at the differences that occur between each sport, because the focus that is required or the attentional capacity that's required for an individual sport versus a field sport vary greatly as well. So even if we were to take some of these expert athletes out of their given area of expertise and we put them into a different area, they might act like novices in that initial set or as they're getting familiarity with it when they're building into that skill set, right? Because not only are they having this opportunity for this genetic predisposition, there's also the piece of extensive training and long-term training that go into this picture as well. So then how do we take all this information from this study and translate it into everyday use, right? Well, we already covered the part about a genetic predisposition, but there's multiple levels of competition, there are multiple levels of play, and this also transcends just sport. This can also affect our work. This can also affect other areas of our life, because we'll become more efficient from a neural standpoint when we have increased familiarity and increased practice with different things, right? So we're looking at quality of our training and the amount of training lead into us becoming more expert level with how we're moving and becoming more efficient and more proficient at what we're aiming to do. So then this week, my encouragement and my takeaways for you based on this information would be, can you answer these questions for yourself? And when you can answer these questions, you're able to take action and begin on your journey or your part of this piece, right? So as we look at this, use this checklist or these questions to spur some thoughts and some ideas for you to create a better routine to improve in these areas of your life that you're looking to improve in. Because as we mentioned before, this doesn't just only affect sport. It also affects our day-to-day life, right? And it affects our ability to do different tasks with ease. So our first question is going to be, are you practicing what you aim to improve on? Is the time spent practicing intentional or quality time? And depending on your level of competition, are you as an athlete spending time playing? And so if you're younger, maybe some free play would be a great idea because it allows you to get familiar with your sport, get comfortable with your sport, and even get creative with your sport so that you're able to see these opportunities from a different perspective, able to put together more strategic plans, and able to understand higher complexity of strategic plans within your given sport, right? Also, depending on the situation, have you incorporated diversity into your training? That could be additional sports. If your sport's not all year round, or you're not trying to play all year round, or you're playing other sports that will require you to be flexible, adaptable, and grow within your skill set, right? Or if you are already specialized in your sport, are you doing other parts of training that will help you prevent overuse injury and also aim to improve your current performance in the sport that you are playing? I hope that you're able to take some of these questions and put them to good use as you inspect your routines and inspect how you're moving through things right now and utilize them to the best of your ability. And join us again in 2 weeks as we cover our next theme. Thank you for joining me for this 5 Minute Friday. Once again, I'm Dr. J, and as always, be refined by the grind.